What's good? What's good? What's good? It's Monday. We're gonna jump straight into this. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Anything, job, career, you feel me? Opportunity, whatever it is, relationship, respect yourself enough to walk away. Because a lot of our problems and our issues and our struggles in life come from the fact that we're holding on to either circumstances, situations, or our projected desired outcomes for them. Follow along. If we want something to be a certain way, and we believe it can be, or if we just think it should be so hard that we stay involved in things by trying to get the situation to be the way we want it to be. And that causes us to be frustrated. That causes us to be sad, mad. It causes us to be in arguments and confrontations with people because what is in front of us isn't what we want it to be and what we feel like it should be. But that's okay. Not everything has to go the way you want it to. And there are plenty of things in life that are out of our control. It doesn't even matter. It's like we can want better for somebody else's life and be sad about the outcomes that they're getting, but they're the ones who have to take the necessary steps in order to change the outcomes and trajectory of their life. You can't do anything about it, right? There's been times where I've been in positions working for companies, and I can see a trajectory for either other employees, for the possibilities of how we could do things, and I'm either being met with pushback or I'm the only person trying to implement the change, which becomes more work on me than the actual change is going to even do good, even if everyone else did it. And so it gets to a point where it's like, do I keep worrying about trying to get everybody else on the same page? Or do I worry about maximizing my sales and my customers and my time here? Because I'm spending an hour explaining, re-explaining, showing, and teaching, and then trying to get someone else on to something. And that's an hour I could have been spending on client acquisition. I could have been spending on learning new material, learning new products, like a myriad of things. At the very least, I could have just spent it relaxing and not thinking about what I was supposed to be doing. You feel me? And so a part of this is a respect thing. Once you start to respect yourself, your own time, and your own feelings about things, you'll naturally stop asking for respect from other people. And if you feel as if something isn't respectful of your time, your skills, whatever it may be, you just won't make room and time for it. You feel me? Like, say there's somebody that every single time you talk to them, you feel disrespected, or you feel as if you were in the wrong, or you have to question the whole interaction. Instead of beating yourself up about why is every conversation like this, you're probably just gonna stop talking to the person. At least that's my solution. Is like, if every conversation that I have with you ends in a way that I don't feel good about, I'm not going to try and make you have conversations with me that make me feel good. I'm just going to stop conversing with you. And the same thing with dating. I feel like a lot of dudes hop into stuff and they get into situations where they don't like the way they're being talked to. They don't like the things that are expected of them. And instead of just leaving little shawty where she at, they'll try and make her behave differently, or explain to her, I don't like that, or don't talk to me this way, or try and see if they can treat her better or treat her differently to make her treat them differently. It might work. Sometimes it does. In my personal experience, the best solution is to just leave, stop talking, separate yourself. Like, now if you're married, this is different. But if this is the woman you're starting to know, you're starting to date, if you realize that you've already addressed, hey, I don't like being talked to this way, I won't tolerate being disrespected. If you met her on another level, hey, I'm trying to understand what was going on with you in this moment and what made you act this way so we can try to not let this happen again. And now if you find yourself having this conversation again, it's like, yo, bro, you say and do some wild, crazy, disrespectful stuff, and I don't appreciate it. I don't let anyone talk to me this way. And I'm not trying to be mad about it. I'm not trying to get bigger than you. I'm not trying to dominate you. I just literally am not going to take that type of behavior. And that's how it is for me. Once I hit like 19 and I realized like my mom used, I don't know about y'all, but my mom used to bitch me, nigga. She used to bitch us, bro. She used to talk to us like we was hoes, dog. Hoes. Like, you feel me? And so once I got to a certain age and my mom stopped using certain like types of language and talking to me in a certain way, I realized like you're a grown up, which means you deserve to be respected. And so anybody who doesn't meet me with just a minimal level of peer-to-peer courtesy respect, they don't talk to me very much because I don't tolerate it. I'm not here for it. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be the president of the United States. You could be a bus driver. I don't care who I just don't accept being spoken to however. And if you do want to talk to me, however, that's fine. But that does not mean you're going to get the desired outcome, response, or even a response. And I believe a lot more people need to behave that way because it'll just preserve your energy and your time and your space for yourself. It's like our energy is expensive, time is expensive, life is expensive. We have way too many things going on for us to be worried about why someone always disrespects us or why we can never seem to have a good outcome or desired conversation. It's like there's times where people will be like, bro, all I did was ask a question. And that question turns into a whole blowout because that person wasn't trying to see it from your point of view, which means they just didn't respect what you had to say or respect your emotions enough to even try to address it. And so instead of trying to figure out what you could have done or why they don't understand, just disconnect. And it's not out of militia, it's not out of anger, it's not to show them something. It's literally to protect your own mental peace and your own emotions. Because if you are someone who is emotionally intelligent and aware, you're letting other people's emotions inform how you should interact in situations, which also informs your emotions. And if you start acting in a way that you think is supposed to help, you feel me, the situation or better the situation, you're now frustrated when this shit don't work because that nigga just don't fuck with you, or that lady just is an asshole, or she just is a dick. You feel me? Like there are people who just operate from negativity. There are people who just operate from negative spaces. There are people who operate from wounded spaces. There are people who operate from jealousy and hatred. So you can never do anything to have a good interaction with this person. They don't go about life looking for good interactions. They just go about life reacting and acting from that place of hurt, that place of scorn, that place of negativity, that place of expectation. And all they can do is project and put that onto other people as well. So it's not even about you. They just don't know how to behave any other way. And you bringing it up or calling it out makes them feel some type of way as well because they can understand how their behavior or their conversation can be insulting or not conducive or whatever word you want to use to describe it. But they don't know what else they're supposed to be doing. And they don't want to be described as that way, but they know that their behavior is heavily in that way. But you just held the mirror up to them and made them look at it. And it takes a big person to be able to look at themselves and say, what I'm doing, saying, behaving, how I'm behaving is negatively affecting somebody else. And I care enough to change it. It takes a big person to change their own behavior. And if you don't feel like there's anything wrong with your behavior, you're never going to change it. Or if you don't respect the person who feels some type of way about it, you're never going to change it. So the easiest thing for you to do as the person who doesn't like the situations, outcomes, conversations, whatever the case may be, is to respect yourself enough to just disconnect. Just stop giving people chances to disrespect you. That's what I've learned. Instead of trying to explain to people how their actions, their words, and behaviors hurt me, harm me, make me feel some type of way, or put me in a bad position, I just disconnect. It's so much easier. It's so much easier. It saves you so much breath. And as a man, I feel like one thing that gets overlooked is like when it comes to dealing with women and dating, men are territorial and some of them are anger mental and crazy. So if a woman is willing to entertain two men at the same time, and put them possibly in the same vicinity, she's dangerous. She's not thinking about your safety, and she might not be thinking about hers either. You feel me? If she's able to put you in a position to be harmed while she's also with you, she's a crash out. And crash outs are liable to harm not only them but also you. So we have to learn to just walk away from stuff. And then with being in jobs and trying to overexert ourselves in order to make somebody see our potential or make them see our good ideas or make them see our work ethics or our credibility, we start overworking ourselves, or we could start over focusing on other parts of life. I just spent an extra 4 hours on this work project to prove to my higher up that I was able to do it and that I deserve the raise or promotion or whatever the case may be. And it's like, why? If at the end of the day they still look at you the same way, you're not getting a pay grade, or uh, you're not getting a pay grade or a raise, or what is it called, or a promotion. They're gonna look at it and they say, okay, thank you, and now you just showed them. And now you just showed them another level of work and a level of capability that they're going to just expect as the new norm without adding any reason for you to do that much work to it. There's no perks, no benefits, no nothing. You just overexerted yourself to prove something. And now they say, now since we see you can do that again every single time. And you're like, bro, what? I wasn't just doing it for fun. Well, even with women, guys will be trying to get a woman to treat them better, talk to them nicer or whatever, and they'll buy her something super expensive or take her somewhere super fancy or super nice, and think that that'll make her realize like how much he cares about her, or that she's special to him. And now she's like, bet, well, if you want me to maintain that level of behavior and treat you that way, I need you to maintain this level of busting it and buying shit and paying. You feel me? It's like it doesn't work like that. Like, I don't want to have to pay you and incentivize you to be respectful or to be a good person. But some dudes don't get that. They think that that's what they're supposed to do, is financially prove to her that she's deserving, or you're deserving. Prove to me that you're deserving of my time, attention, my love, and my respect. And dudes is out here doing it and busting it. I was taught that respect come first. If I truly love you or wish to love you or think I could love you, I'm going to respect you first, just so I don't jeopardize my opportunity to stay in proximity to you. Because anyone knows, at least I feel like women know as well, that they don't like being mistreated. Is women are more emotionally driven, meaning that they make decisions more from their emotions than men do, in my opinion. I'm not saying they're more emotional. I'm saying that their decisions are more based out of emotion than the actual logistics of what's better for me right now. And so I feel like they understand that if I don't like something and it hurts my feelings, I'm not going to repeatedly put myself in a position to have my feelings hurt unless there's a very good reason for it. Men won't know whether or not it's a good reason. They'll just know that they want a desired outcome. And with us thinking logically about stuff, even if our feelings were hurt by the way she behaved, we'll just think we need to do X, Y, or Z to make the outcome better. So in this equation, I'm looking towards the future and how I want her to treat me. So this is what she's doing right now. This is what I'm doing right now. If I change what I'm doing, she'll change what she's doing. And that's not always the motherfucking case. I feel like women are aware of that more so, and they think more so like, all right, this motherfucker keep hurting my feelings, dog, and I keep feeling embarrassed. I don't like this shit, so I'm gonna just skedaddle. I'm gonna cut. I don't like the way I feel. Dude is gonna be like, I don't really like how I feel, but logically I see a certain outcome in this situation, and maybe if I readjust what I'm doing, I'll get the outcome that I want. And we're taught that we set the tone and shit like that, so he's gonna assume that there's something that he needs to do in order to make her act a certain way. And he's like, nah, dog, respect should be given. So I'm kind of rambly now. You got the initial point. It doesn't matter who or what it is. It could be your mom. If every single time you talk to your mom, you end up feeling bad, you end up feeling as if like you can't express yourself, explain anything, and you're at fault all the time for every negative conversation you guys have. If everything's an argument, or if you just feel as if she doesn't listen to what you have to say because she belittles it, in my opinion, you don't have to completely disconnect from your mom, but you don't have to try and have a strong, solid, like, we talk every Tuesday. Like, no, I'm good. You're good. Is there anything you need? Can I help you with anything? And it's sad to say this, but I know so many people who will talk to their parent, and every single time they talk to their parent more than 2 or 3 times in one week, they end up in arguments, they end up crying, they end up having their feelings hurt, and they end up feeling disrespected, and they end up feeling not heard and shut down. And I'm like, why do you keep putting yourself through this? It's because I want to have a great relationship with my mom. That's wonderful. Does your mom want to have a great relationship with you as well? And are you both willing to do the things necessary to make it happen? Because she might want to have a good relationship with you, but she can't stop criticizing everything that you do. So the relationship is always going to be a certain way until you stop holding on to your expectation or wish for it to be otherwise. And there's some things that we can't fully let go of, so we just have to step away from the actual person and distance ourselves from the amount of interactions we have. At least that's how I look at it. I'm done talking. This is your boy Diesel. Hope you took something away from this. Move Monday, baby. Learn to respect yourself enough to walk away from the situation when it doesn't cater or feed into what you need. And sometimes what we do need is to be challenged in order to grow. So sometimes we have to sit there and say, you know what? This person might not be behaving in the way that I like, but what is it that I'm not doing? Or what can I do better? You feel me? And once you ask yourself that question, and once you decide, is this pushing me to be better, or is this conforming me to be what they want? Once you can make that distinction, there's nothing wrong with asking these questions and sticking around to see if there's something you can change. Because I've had situations where there are people that were actually beneficial to my life, to my career, to my finances, that I wasn't able to get on one accord with, and I didn't understand why. So once I went and I sat back and I addressed, what is it that happens between us in conversations and relations that makes this become a competition or a striving moment? And I was like, is there something you're doing? Is there something you're saying? Are you trying to compete? Are you trying to overshadow? No. I feel like I'm in competition with this person, or we're competing to be right or something, and we don't even do the same shit. Like, literally, we don't even have the same job, but every time I open my mouth, I feel like everything you're saying is in direct negation of. Every time I open my mouth, whatever you're saying is directly negating whatever I said. So I'm just going to speak less and see if you do this to other people. And then instead of speaking on my ideas, we'll put some of them in writing or have someone else suggest it and see whether or not it gets the green light when it's their idea, or if it still gets ran down and negotiated if someone else brings it up. Once I realized that if someone else brought up the idea or mentioned it first, green light. Or if it was said somewhere where it was able to be regurgitated by that person and now it was their idea, green light, run it. Here, do this. This is your assignment. I already have it halfway done because it was actually my idea. You feel me? And so I just realized I'm not going to have conversations with you. I'm not going to have any conversations with you about implementing anything new or improving anything, because any improvement I want to make is going to get shot down and you don't want to do it. If I would have sat there and kept trying to figure out how to approach it differently to make this person, you feel me? I would have been racking my brain, busting my brain to this day, trying to figure out how to have conversations with this person that were conducive. There was nothing I could do. So, and that's why I just said respect yourself enough to walk away. Instead of trying to argue my point, instead of trying to criticize their points, I just shut the fuck up and started paying attention. You don't like the things that I do and say. Therefore, you won't respect me. And this is why I say, dudes, believe the way she acts, talks, and treats you off rip. If ever you feel disrespected, if you feel slighted, if you feel belittled, either this is who she truly is and how she truly behaves, or she does not care enough about you, dog, to behave in a manner that is conducive to the relationship. And one thing I've learned is that a lot of women, if you see stuff that wasn't meant to come off a certain way and you're still like, whoa, you talk to people like that, you angry like that, this is how you actually believe, this is how you actually think. I feel like a lot of women parade themselves as caricatures of, you feel me, what they believe men want out of women. And so they're surprised when guys don't like things or call certain stuff out. They didn't even realize men were worried about being respected like that in this day and age. Because a lot of dudes just be trying to crack. And dudes who just trying to crack, they don't care what you do or say like that if they're not planning on talking to you a week later. I'm not planning on talking to you for 3 days. Like, I don't plan on talking to you until I'm trying to crack again. And I don't care what you do. As long as you're not in my face talking shit, I don't care what you do. And I feel like that's bred a lot of the relationship issues we have these days when it comes time to actually lock it down, be in a monogamous, committed relationship long term. I feel like a lot of women don't know what men consider disrespectful and don't like. And a lot of women don't care. And so with those two things, it's hard for a man to fully feel attracted enough to a woman to fully invest in her and lock down the relationship, because he doesn't feel as if he knows you even really like him or you're actually for him or like he's actually respected. Because if you can't respect me, you can't be for me. But yo, I'm low-key mixing up both my videos from today, but it is what it is. I'm out this hoe.